This is the decade trick. It's fairly simple, but quite powerful. So in the decade trick, you convert years to decades, and sometimes that comes in quite handy if you want to group data. Here's the decade trick. We have the Star Wars dataset in the Tidyverse package, and the Star Wars dataset has this variable or column birth year. It's somewhere here, birth year, there we go. We can also show it. Here's the birth year. And let's try to convert this birth year to decades. How does this work? Well, let's maybe start with creating a new variable. We call it decade equals, and here's the trick. We would say 10 times the variable birth year. And then we have this integer division operator. So this percent sign, the slash, and another percent sign, and then we would add the 10 to it. But before I run this code, let's look at a very easy example. 10 times, let's just say 1996. Someone was born in 1996. Then we do this integer division operator and add the 10 to it. And this turns this number to 1990. If I only go for this part of the code, I get the number 199. We need to multiply that by 10 to get the actual decade. And this works with any other decade. For example, I could also imagine someone who was born in 1932. Of course, this is the decade of 1930s. And I can apply this approach to every row in this data set. And let me now run this code. Let me just quickly pull out the decade column, and now you can see that these are all the decades. Maybe it's easier to read if I just show you the two variables, birth year and decade. And now you can see what it did. It basically put every year to a decade. It's a nice little trick, comes in quite handy, and especially powerful if you want to count numbers. For example, you could say, I want to count how many people were born in specific decades. So for that, I would just write down, I would convert the birth rate to my decades, and then I would just count these and have a look at the data set, and then I can see, oh, all right, 3 people were born in this decade, 9 people were born in this decade, and it comes in quite handy with the count function. And for this tutorial or trick, I have to thank David Robinson, who I think came up with this trick. There are a bunch of videos about it online. So thanks so much for this trick. And also I had a look at a blog post by Olivier Gimenez, who wrote a really good blog post about some tidyverse tricks. So thanks, the two of you, and this is the end of this video.